So first of all, why did you start Dairy Expo?
The main reason was that just from 15 years of traveling back and forth to Madison, Wisconsin, to the World Dairy Expo, and it just being such a special event there for Wisconsin and the U.S., we thought, why would we not have a dairy show here in Canada that recognized dairy producers here in Canada and the full dairy sector itself. So that was the main stem for the idea, was to have a Canadian product for Canadian dairy producers here in Canada.
It's their third year.
Yep.
What lessons have you learned? How's it been going?
Oh, it's a learning process. Obviously, we've had some growing pains with parking that needed to be addressed this year, and we've done so. But overall, it's been a major success. We've been extremely excited about the producer support, the industry support, and myself personally, just proud of my team for pulling this great event together.
And what's new for this year?
There always has to be something new. I always say that it's got to be like a wonderland for farmers with a new ride every year. So we try to change up the programming each year to keep the show fresh for attending producers. And so this year what they'll see is more cows, more parking. They asked for more cows, they asked for more parking, so we've answered that, going to 3 times the parking. Also cows on site, we're going from about 12 cows to 40 cows in this cow coliseum here. So there'll be more genetic displays, there's crossbreed displays, there's a component breed live cow display. So I would suggest that those are 2 major additions to the show. Also, there's 2 companies that have really stepped up and decided to do their North American product launches here at the show. One is De Laval, doing their North American launch of the teat spray robot. The teat spray robot basically can service 400 cows in a rotary parlor per hour, which is just staggering technology. And then GIA is the other company, and they're doing their North American launch of their robotic milking arm, again for a rotary parlor, that can milk up to 400 cows an hour. So some really staggering technology, and we're extremely excited that they picked Canada and the Canadian Dairy Expo to do those North American launches.
And why do you think this should be a must-attend event for dairy producers?
We try to make the Canadian Dairy Expo everything to dairy. So, I mean, from a pedigree standpoint, if you're more of a pedigree-minded producer, we have the genetic pens here with live daughters. We have this year a producer pedigree panel in the classroom of elite producers in the category that have lived and breathed genetics and pedigree their whole life, done business around the world. Everything from that into more of the commercial side with the robots, and the robotic arms that we just talked about. And even in addition, this year we have a live display of goat milking, which of course is also the dairy category. There's families that are looking for something for the next generation to get them started. And the Dairy Goat Cooperative will be doing a live goat milking demonstration, feeding, and also touching on genetics.
And where do producers, what distances or where do producers coming from?
Yeah, when the show started, of course, you start from your nucleus, and then it grows and emanates from there. But we can honestly say that we have producers coming from every province from across Canada. There is some producers coming across the border from bordering states, but where we see the real push is actually from an international standpoint. We've worked hard at attending other dairy shows ourselves and promoting our product. And the uptake from South America and Europe has been exceptional. There's a lot of respect globally for Canadian dairy producers and the industry here. So we, as an example, this year we have a group of 30 delegates coming from Ukraine to the Canadian Dairy Expo, and we expect that international draw will continue to grow.
Parking has been an issue in the past. What have you done to address that for this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting problem. It means that the show is working and it's drawing, but of course it needed to be addressed. And so basically we're going from 20 acres of parking that we had in 2013 and 14 to a total of 60 acres of parking. But then in addition to that, we've increased access points, so we have 5 access points to parking instead of just 1. We have internal security, we have Stratford Police on the road. So this year when you enter the Dairy Expo, you won't be stopped on the road. We'll keep that traffic going, and we have a place to park everybody. So also in the dairy classroom is this year an organic panel. So I mentioned the pedigree panel, but on day 2 there's actually an organic producer panel there, and it's basically Q&A. So anybody in the audience can fire questions at this panel of organic producers. And then, like I mentioned on the first day, that panel of pedigree producers. So the big push is obviously innovation at the show. innovation transfer, but also knowledge and education transfer in the dairy classroom.
So what do you think makes this show unique compared to all the other shows in the world that are in the dairy category?
I would suggest that what makes this show unique is that it's everything to dairy. So I mentioned, that pedigree component, the commercial component, organic, even milking goats. So the idea is that the Canadian Dairy Expo touches all facets of the Canadian dairy industry. And so that's the one main component, that it's open and it has something for everybody. But the other thing is, I just think the immense pride behind the show, from the producer level, but also from the exhibitor standpoint. We see that the pride and the care that the exhibitors put into the showmanship of their booth, and then that extends right into the CDX team too, to make the show unique and special. Whether that's 4-H with their grilled cheese and milkshake booth this year, to junior farmers serving food in the hay and forage hall. Those small components, I think, add up to making the show very unique and special.